A few weeks ago, the Ingraham angle exposed how dozens of veterans were living in tents right outside property owned by the U.S. Veterans Administration. Now, our own Raymond Arroyo visited the site. What he found there was shocking.
At the mouth of Brentwood sits a unique homeless encampment. Tents are emblazoned with American flags. It is a camp made up entirely of veterans. They run it like a military outpost, complete with chores and drop-off locations. But these vets are here fighting a new battle. Welcome to Veterans Row. In 1887, this 388 acres behind me were donated to the federal government to house disabled veterans. It's in the heart of Brentwood. During the Korean War, 4,000 vets called this place home. But since then, it's hosted a parrot park, a UCLA baseball diamond, even a dog park. Today, the veterans can't get in. They're out here on the street. Robert Reynolds is an Iraqi war vet who came here in 2018 for PTSD treatment. But the VA wouldn't let him in with his service animal.
I was like, I'm not going to get rid of the dog. So I ended up out here on the sidewalk. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, why in the hell are all these veterans camped outside the VA?
Right.
And since I've been involved with this, I've known 6 veterans that have passed away. And they're passing away on the street, and they're dying in tents. And it's absolutely unacceptable what's happening.
Scotty served in Vietnam and has been out here for 2 years. He was recently hit by a drunk driver while sleeping in his van. What do you think when you sit here outside these gates for property intended for veterans and you can't get to the other side of those gates?
I want to break out a flamethrower. That's how I feel. I'll tell you why. That's our land. It was given to us. And it says right on the front gate there on a big plaque, dedicated or for disabled and homeless veterans, not a Veterans Administration.
Tonight, we're happy to report that some progress has been made in getting those vets off the streets, but many promises remain unfulfilled. Since our story put a spotlight on this, the VA Secretary, Governor Gavin Newsom, and even Arnold Schwarzenegger have come to visit. But our next guest says the politicians are lying about the amount of relief they're actually seeing on the ground. Joining me now is Robert Reynolds, veteran advocate for AmVets and a former homeless vet himself. Robert, it's wonderful to see you tonight. Tell us what's changed since we visited you a few months back.
Well, we were able to get all of the veterans to move in a group onto the other side of the fence so they're safely on the VA. They just moved tents to a new location. So they have the same tents they had out on the sidewalks with American flags on them. We gave them new cots and everything. So they did not go into housing. We'd been asking for over a year to get, the veterans off the street and onto the property. So I'm at least thankful that that has happened.
Now, Robert, I think a lot of Americans watching this tonight are truly shocked by what they see. And at the same time, we have word that families separated at the border because, they came in illegally and they had to be separated at the time, are going to get $450,000 as recompense for what they had to endure. So illegal immigrants getting $450,000 and veterans dying on the street after being hit by vehicles, oncoming cars. Something about this really just doesn't seem right, to say the very least.
No, it's absolutely disgusting what's going on. Los Angeles is the nation's capital for veteran homelessness, and there's 388 acres of land that's donated to house them. And there's been years of broken promises, and the housing is still not built yet. And these veterans shouldn't even be living in tents on the field.
Here's Congressman Ted Lieu's reaction to the homeless veterans continuing to be homeless. He said, pleased that the majority of vets residing at the encampment are now either staying at West LA VA campus, in hotels, or found permanent housing. It's a notable step forward. We'll continue to fight to make sure all the veterans experiencing homelessness in LA County have access to resources and the care they deserve. Robert, nice words, I guess. Your reaction, though, to that?
Congressman Ted Lieu has, in the last 2 years since I've been involved working with the homeless veterans outside the gates of the West LA VA, he has yet to even send an intern or return any of our messages requesting a meeting to try to figure out a better way to get through this situation and get veterans off the street. It's been very frustrating. His West LA field office is located about a mile away from this encampment, and just the fact that Ted, who is a veteran, would ignore such a situation like this is just the most unethical and immoral thing that I've ever seen.
And we reached out to his office, Robert. It won't surprise you that he did not reach back to us for a comment. But again, when Americans see the federal government wasting billions of dollars on failed programs and people who frankly either don't belong here or undocumented, and then our veterans who served the country to protect freedom are out in the, on the streets, it boils the blood to just the average American watching this. I was angry in August. Now I'm even angrier because the politicians are obviously putting a Band-Aid on this.
Yeah, I mean, and this problem, I mean, they could fix this problem as easy as just signing a piece of paper. I mean, it's not that hard. Especially Congressman Ted Lieu, they're more concerned with appeasing illegal land users at the West LA VA than they are actually working with the veterans. Anything that is built on that property, unrelated to veteran housing, goes up overnight. Anytime we're talking about building veteran housing, we're waiting on infrastructure upgrades or environmental impact reports. It's excuse after excuse and years of it, and it's caused the trust is severely violated with all the veterans.
Robert, you continue to be a warrior and an angel for doing what you do on a daily basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A big mystery surrounding Joe Biden. Tonight's Last Bite explains.